What if everything you've been taught about death is wrong? What if death isn't a full stop, but a comma leading to another chapter in the story of consciousness? There exists an ancient text, shrouded in mystery, that claims to hold the answers to what really happens when we die, offering a detailed map of the afterlife. This isn't just some abstract philosophical debate. Understanding what awaits us beyond the veil has profound implications for how we live our lives today. By confronting our deepest fears about death, we can unlock hidden potentials, live more authentically, and discover a sense of purpose that transcends the mundane. This ancient text challenges the prevailing narrative of death as a terrifying unknown, offering an alternative perspective. That death, as we understand it, is merely a transition into another state of consciousness. And within this text are recurring themes of transformation, rebirth, and the fundamental interconnectedness of all things. It speaks of cycles of existence, the ebb and flow of consciousness, and the idea that our individual awareness is not isolated, but part of a larger cosmic whole. This text comes from the lost civilization of Xylos, a culture said to have mastered the secrets of consciousness long before our modern era. Some scholars attribute its authorship to the sage Theron, a figure who, according to legend, achieved immortality through his understanding of the universe. Understanding the nature of death isn't about morbid curiosity, it's about reclaiming your power. It's about understanding that fear, especially the fear of death, is often the biggest obstacle to living a truly fulfilling life. This ancient text dares to challenge societal norms surrounding death, urging us to question the accepted wisdom and embrace a more empowering perspective. If death is not the end, but a doorway, how does that shift your perception of who you are, of what you're capable of? The knowledge within this text has the potential to shatter your preconceived notions about reality, revealing the power of consciousness and the potential for profound personal transformation. Death is not to be feared, but to be understood. It is through this understanding that we unlock the secrets to living. Now, before we dive in, let's be clear about what this ancient text isn't. It's not a religious dogma to be blindly followed. It's not a replacement for your own personal experiences or intuition. Instead, it's a guide, a framework for exploring the mysteries of death and consciousness, which should be interpreted critically, tested against your own experiences, and viewed through the lens of your own intuition. It emphasizes personal experience and interpretation rather than blind faith, and suggests that our individual experience can be shaped by our own expectations. The text hints at the idea that our reality is a simulation, or perhaps more accurately, a dream. Death, then, might be akin to waking up from this dream, or transitioning to another level of the game. Just as the characters in a dream are projections of your own mind, the text suggests that our consciousness may be creating the reality around us. Throughout this video, we'll be drawing upon several key areas of knowledge to help us decipher the message of this ancient text. We'll be looking at near-death experiences, or NDEs, to see if they offer glimpses into the afterlife realms described in the text. We'll explore the mind-bending world of quantum physics, examining how its principles challenge our conventional understanding of reality. And we'll delve into various spiritual traditions, comparing their teachings about death and rebirth with the insights offered by the ancient text. We'll be looking for patterns between this text and reports of NDEs to see how they line up, and patterns between this and other spiritual teachings to see where they align, where they diverge, and what we can learn from those differences. But be warned, this text isn't a straightforward instruction manual. It's filled with riddles, metaphors, and symbolism that require careful interpretation. If our reality is a simulation, what are the rules that govern it? What is the soul that moves on, and can it level up? This text holds clues, but unlocking those clues requires us to dig deep, to question our assumptions, and to be open to possibilities that may seem beyond the realm of conventional understanding. You will need to understand that the text contains symbols. For instance, the symbol of the spiraling serpent eating its own tail. We will need to understand what that symbol means and how it applies to your understanding of the nature of reality. Later in this video, I'm going to share practical exercises and techniques for overcoming your fear of death, using the core teachings from this text as our guide. So, what does this ancient text actually say about what happens after death? What is the initial experience like as depicted? The text describes the immediate aftermath as a process of separation. Not a violent ripping away, but a gentle disengagement, like a flower releasing its petals. The self is no longer anchored to the physical form, but floats free, observing its former body from a new vantage point. The text speaks of a veil, a shimmering threshold that the soul must pass through. It's not a barrier in the traditional sense, but a transitional zone, a space between worlds. Pattern opportunity. This mirrors countless NDE accounts of individuals reporting an out-of-body experience, looking down at their physical bodies, and ascending, sometimes through a tunnel. But the text adds a layer of complexity, suggesting this threshold is also a mirror, reflecting back the soul's own beliefs and expectations. What you believe about death, consciously or unconsciously, shapes your initial experience. Tension, and then comes the evaluation, not by some external judge wielding a gavel, but by yourself. The text indicates that this intermediary realm acts as a cosmic hall of mirrors. But what if you're forced to relive every moment of pain you inflicted on others? The text says that this process isn't about punishment, but about profound learning. It's about truly understanding the impact of your actions, not just intellectually, but emotionally. Imagine feeling the weight of every harsh word, every act of betrayal, every moment of indifference. The text says that it is through this process that a greater understanding of your own consciousness is achieved. Moving beyond this initial transition, the ancient text unveils a landscape of multiple levels or dimensions, each resonating with different frequencies of consciousness. Some realms are described as havens of pure thought, where ideas take form and creativity knows no bounds. Others pulsate with raw emotion, offering the opportunity to experience the full spectrum of human feeling, from ecstatic joy to profound sorrow. And yet others are presented as fields of creative expression, where souls can collaborate to create new realities, new universes. Pattern opportunity. This tiered structure echoes the Bardo realms in Tibetan Buddhism, a series of intermediate states between death and rebirth, each with its own unique challenges and opportunities. Similarly, Theosophy describes astral planes. The ancient text, however, adds a crucial twist. These realms aren't fixed destinations. Tension. They're fluid, responsive to your own inner landscape. Your beliefs, your expectations, your dominant emotions, these shape the reality you experience in these higher realms. The text suggests the afterlife isn't a passive waiting room, but an active co-creation. But what if your own fears and limiting beliefs create a hellish landscape of your own making? The power to create paradise also holds the potential to manifest torment. Finally, the text addresses the cycle of rebirth, the return to physical existence, not as a reward or punishment, but as a continuation of the soul's journey of learning and growth. The text suggests that souls choose to return to physical life to resolve unresolved issues, to experience new lessons, and to contribute to the evolution of consciousness. It's like choosing to replay a level in a video game, not because you failed, but because you want to master it, to explore its hidden depths. Pattern opportunity. This resonates deeply with the concepts of karma and dharma in Eastern religions. Karma, the law of cause and effect, suggests that our actions create ripples that shape our future experiences. Dharma, our unique purpose or path, guides us towards the lessons we need to learn. The ancient text intertwines these concepts, suggesting that rebirth is not a random occurrence, but a deliberate choice guided by the soul's karmic trajectory and dharmic calling. Tension. But what if you keep making the same mistakes, lifetime after lifetime? The text implies that the cycle of rebirth continues until those core lessons are integrated. until the soul transcends its limitations and awakens to its true potential. Each time you are making those mistakes, you are potentially resetting the simulation and will have to restart it from the beginning. But how can we reconcile these seemingly mystical concepts with the cold, hard logic of science? This is where quantum physics enters the picture, offering a bridge between the esoteric and the empirical. Consider the principle of entanglement. Two particles once linked remain connected regardless of the distance separating them. Change the state of one, and the other instantly mirrors that change, even if they're light years apart. Example: Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. The ancient text speaks of a similar interconnectedness, suggesting that all consciousness is fundamentally linked, that our individual souls are not isolated entities, but fragments of a larger cosmic whole. Perspective shift. What if individuality is an illusion? What if we're all interconnected waves on the same vast ocean of consciousness? Entanglement offers a potential framework for understanding this interconnectedness, suggesting that our thoughts, emotions, and experiences ripple outwards, influencing the entire field of consciousness. The observer effect in quantum physics further blurs the lines between reality and consciousness. The act of observing a quantum system influences its behavior. The ancient text echoes this, stating that consciousness shapes reality both in life and after death. Our beliefs, expectations, and intentions act as filters, shaping the reality we experience. Example: the double-slit experiment demonstrates this beautifully. When scientists observe which slit a particle passes through, it behaves like a particle. When they don't observe, it behaves like a wave, demonstrating probability. Pattern opportunity. Connect this to law of attraction and manifestation principles. If our thoughts and focus create our reality here, do they also do so after death? What reality would you like to create for yourself? Stakes elevation. If our thoughts and beliefs determine the landscape of the afterlife, it becomes more important than ever to master our thinking, to cultivate positive emotions, and to align our intentions with our highest potential. The ancient text reveals that mastering the mind isn't just a path to a better life. It's a key to shaping our destiny beyond the veil. Finally, the concept of non-locality challenges our conventional understanding of space and time. Quantum particles can seemingly exist in multiple places at once, and they can tunnel through barriers that should be impenetrable according to classical physics. The ancient text hints at a similar non-locality of consciousness, suggesting that it's not confined to the physical body or to a specific point in time. Example: think of it like accessing a file on a cloud server. The file isn't located on your physical device, but you can access it from anywhere with an internet connection. Similarly, consciousness may be able to access information and experiences beyond the limitations of space and time. Perspective shift. Death, then, isn't a location change, a journey to some distant realm. It's a change of state, a shift in vibrational frequency that allows consciousness to access a broader spectrum of reality. All of this leads to a startling question. What if our reality is a simulation? Quantum physics, with its bizarre and counterintuitive phenomena, lends increasing credibility to this idea. Superposition, entanglement, non-locality, these could be interpreted as glitches or anomalies in a computer-generated construct, hints that our reality isn't as solid as it seems. If this is true, then death isn't an ending, but simply a shift in the simulation, a transition to a new level of the game. Example: just as a character in a video game ceases to exist when the game is turned off, our individual consciousness may merge back into the source code when our physical bodies die. Mystery expansion. If our reality is a simulation, is there a programmer or game master? Can we communicate with them? Can we influence the rules of the game? The ancient text offers cryptic clues, hinting at the possibility of connecting with higher levels of consciousness, of tapping into the source code of reality itself. Now, let's broaden our scope and compare this ancient text to other spiritual traditions. Does it stand alone, or is it part of a larger, universal narrative? The Tibetan Book of the Dead, for example, offers a detailed map of the Bardo realms, the intermediate states between death and rebirth. Example: both texts offer guidance to the deceased on how to navigate these transitional realms, how to avoid being misled by illusions, and how to choose a favorable rebirth. The ancient text echoes this, providing a framework for understanding the challenges and opportunities that await the soul after death. Knowledge scaffolding. The fact that two independent texts, separated by vast distances and cultural contexts, share similar themes strengthens the possibility that they are describing a genuine phenomenon, an underlying reality that transcends cultural interpretation. Similarly, the Egyptian Book of the Dead describes the journey of the soul through the underworld, the weighing of the heart ceremony, and the encounters with various deities and demons. Example: both texts use symbolic language to depict the soul's journey, the challenges it faces, and the ultimate goal of achieving immortality or union with the divine. Mystery expansion. Who designed these tests? What qualities are being measured? And what happens to the souls that fail? Analyzing common themes in near-death experiences. Countless individuals who have clinically died and been revived report similar experiences. A tunnel of light, a life review, encounters with deceased loved ones, and a profound sense of peace and unconditional love. When you analyze the emotional impact of the life review, lessons learned from it, and the tunnel of light, you see similar experiences with common themes across different experiencers that adds credibility to NDE accounts. These reports, while diverse in their details, share striking commonalities with the descriptions in the ancient text. Pattern evolution. The more consistent these reports are, the more seriously we must consider the possibility that they offer glimpses into the afterlife. If people from different cultures, backgrounds, and belief systems report similar experiences during NDEs, it suggests that there may be an underlying reality that transcends individual interpretation. Finally, let's consider the concept of reincarnation, a cornerstone of many Eastern religions, such as Hinduism and Buddhism. Example: in Hinduism and Buddhism, the concept of karma influences the cycle of rebirth and the ultimate goal of achieving liberation from this cycle. The ancient text, while not explicitly endorsing reincarnation, hints at a cyclical nature of existence, a continuous process of learning and growth that spans multiple lifetimes. Connection development. By drawing parallels between these different traditions, we can begin to see the universality of the soul's journey, the common threads that connect us all, regardless of our cultural or religious backgrounds. But what if this knowledge, this map of the afterlife, has been deliberately suppressed or manipulated throughout history? What if those in power have sought to control the narrative of death in order to maintain their control over the living? Consider the possibility that knowledge of the afterlife, as described in the ancient text, has been suppressed or distorted by elites throughout history. Example: the destruction of ancient libraries, the censorship of religious texts, and the persecution of spiritual teachers. These could be interpreted as attempts to control the flow of information and to maintain a specific worldview. Understanding challenge. But why would elites want to control the narrative of the afterlife? Perhaps because the fear of death is a powerful tool for social control. The fear of death can be used as a tool for social control, and alternative narratives can empower individuals to break free from this manipulation. Example: the threat of hell or eternal damnation has been used for centuries to control behavior and to enforce obedience to religious authorities. Perspective shift. Understanding the true nature of the afterlife could liberate us from these control mechanisms, empowering us to live more authentically and to resist manipulation. Spiritual teachings, including those related to death and the afterlife, can be misinterpreted or twisted to serve political or economic agendas. Example: certain religious groups have used the promise of heaven or the threat of hell to justify violence, oppression, and the exploitation of others. Knowledge scaffolding. By understanding how these teachings have been misused in the past, we can learn to interpret them more accurately and to avoid falling prey to manipulation. Ultimately, our understanding of the afterlife is a deeply personal journey, shaped by our individual beliefs, experiences, and intuitions. This ancient text, like any spiritual guide, should be used as a tool for self-discovery, not as a dogma to be blindly followed. We must reclaim the power to define our own reality, to forge our own path through the mysteries of death and consciousness. Example: develop your own understanding of death through personal reflection, meditation, and exploration of different perspectives. Empowerment. By forging your own afterlife beliefs, you are reclaiming control of your own destiny, both in this life and beyond. So, what is the essence of what this ancient text reveals? Stripped of its symbolic language and cultural context, it paints a picture of death not as a full stop, but as a comma, a transition into another state of being. Consciousness, the very essence of who you are, doesn't simply vanish. It sheds its physical form, like a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis, and continues its journey in realms beyond our everyday perception. Remember that initial mystery. The text suggests a journey of the soul or consciousness through various realms after death, where your beliefs and actions shape your afterlife experience. This knowledge, it posits, should transform our perspective on life and death, filling our lives with a greater sense of urgency and a deeper sense of purpose. Now, let's connect the dots. We've seen how NDEs echo the ancient text's descriptions of out-of-body experiences, life reviews, and encounters with higher beings. Quantum physics, with its mind-bending concepts of entanglement and non-locality, offers a scientific framework for understanding the interconnectedness of consciousness and its ability to transcend space and time. And spiritual traditions from around the world, from the Tibetan Book of the Dead to the concept of reincarnation, share common themes of cyclical existence and the soul's journey of learning and growth. All of these different perspectives offer complementary insights into the nature of reality and consciousness. This cross-disciplinary agreement should give us greater peace of mind and a deeper acceptance of death, knowing it is not the end. But what does all of this mean for our lives, right here, right now? How can an understanding of death and the afterlife help us live more meaningful and fulfilling lives? By overcoming the fear of death, we can begin to truly appreciate the preciousness of life, to savor each moment, each experience, each connection. By understanding our interconnectedness, we can cultivate compassion and empathy, recognizing that every action we take has ripples that extend far beyond ourselves. And by knowing our true nature, as conscious beings capable of shaping our own reality, we can empower ourselves to live more authentically, to pursue our passions, and to make a positive impact on the world. If physical life is only one stage of a much larger journey, we can relax into life more and strive less for the wrong things. It's also crucial to remember that you are the ultimate authority on your own spiritual journey. Critically evaluate all information, including what's been shared in this video, and trust your own intuition. Your beliefs shape your reality, both in life and after death, so choose them wisely. Take responsibility for your own spiritual growth and development, and don't be afraid to question authority and seek truth independently. By taking spiritual agency, you may be able to better direct your experiences, even after death. And finally, let's not forget the broader societal implications. The fear of death can be a powerful tool for social control, used to manipulate and oppress individuals and entire populations. By understanding the true nature of the afterlife, we can liberate ourselves from these control mechanisms and empower ourselves to resist manipulation. A more enlightened understanding of death can lead to a more just and equitable society, where individuals are free to live authentically and to pursue their full potential. So use your understanding to create positive change in the world. So let's revisit those initial questions we posed at the beginning of this journey. What happens when we die? The ancient text suggests a transition into a new state of consciousness, shaped by our beliefs and expectations. Where do we go? To realms beyond our everyday perception, resonant with different frequencies of consciousness. Is there a purpose to life? To learn, to grow, to experience, and to contribute to the evolution of consciousness. We can consider the answers we found a theory, but not the definitive truth. Hopefully, you can feel at peace with this theory and your own opinions. Now, as for the core theory, that death is not an end, but a transition to another state of consciousness influenced by our beliefs. The ancient text statements, experiences of NDE accounts, and theories of quantum physics all seem to align. As we said before, while we can consider this a promising theory and feel at peace with it, this is not necessarily the definitive truth. Of course, some questions may remain unanswered. The mystery of death is vast and complex, and our understanding is constantly evolving. But that's okay. The journey of discovery is ongoing, and there's always more to learn, more to explore. I encourage you to continue seeking knowledge, to continue questioning, and to continue forging your own path through the mysteries of death and consciousness. And with that in mind, let's seed some new questions for future exploration. What does this ancient text say about the evolution of consciousness? How can we actively prepare for the afterlife experience, not just emotionally and spiritually, but practically? What techniques can we use to shift our consciousness and to influence our reality, both in life and after death? Share your own thoughts and experiences in the comments below. And if you found this video thought-provoking, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more content on consciousness, spirituality, and the nature of reality. Check out some of our related videos on quantum physics, near-death experiences, and ancient wisdom traditions. By continuing to learn and explore, we can unlock our full potential and create a more enlightened world. And don't forget to share this video with others who may find it interesting. There are many other mysteries to be revealed in future content and projects, so be sure to stick around.